On to race number 5 and the 5th on the programme at Happy Valley Wednesday night is a Class 4 over the 1,200 metres. Blinkers on for the first time for Hero Time. Grant van Nurkert rides from Barry 11, a 2-time course and distance winner in this class. Gift of Lifeline was a course and distance winner 2 starts back, third behind this is class last time. One Step Ahead makes his debut. The Show's won 2 of his last 3 starts. They've all been course and distance as well. Lariz, Happy Valley first time for him. Dragon Dance should roll forward despite drawing barrier 10. And Glittering Armour won over this trip at Sha Tin back in October. The Show and Dragon Dance, the 2 horses that have been up at Chung Fa in the last month.
All right, let's have a look at the speed map here. Now, Lariz is a sort of jump and run. Regency Darling's been a little sort of flip of the coin scenario of late. He can show pace. Flying Monkey's generally quite, solid out of the gates. And One Step Ahead looks to be a horse with a good pace profile too. So that should generate some pace. We know Dragon Dance would like to lead if he can, but 1,200 is a little bit on the sharp side at the Valley when you've drawn deep, but he may well press the issue and make it even more speedy through the first turn.
He's one of the first starters, One Step Ahead. He's only 1,003 pounds, so he's only a little chap. He's had 3 trials, and one of those trials he did win it was at Happy Valley. So the Tavistocks have gone well in the past, and he looks good. He's trained by Paul O'Sullivan. Lariz, I like this piece of work. He's going nicely here. Lariz, he's likely to go forward too from his barrier number 9. That's him number 36, just taking off there from Divine Power. So he goes, looks good here this morning, Lariz, and he didn't run too badly at his last start at Sha Tin. And Dragon Dance, we mentioned, probably needs a bit further, does Dragon Dance. Track work's been pretty good leading into it, though. Here he is up in Chung Fa.
All right, let's start off then with Gift of Lifeline, who was a winner 2 starts back. He won from barrier 5, so the barrier's drawn this time round. He finished 3rd, got home very strongly behind This Is Class last time out.
Yeah, this is a Gift of Lifeline. He got too far back from his barrier number 9. He's got a better draw barrier number 5. He did run on really nicely here, and it wasn't a bad run from him. I think from his lower draw, he's going to be tough to beat. That's My Family coming to the outside in the blue.
Yeah, that's your long shot a bit later on, hitting the line nicely. I think Gift of Lifeline looks a bit scopy. We've suggested that a few times. He's worth another chance, definitely.
All right, Lariz comes into the race in reasonable form, having finished 4th on his last 2 starts, prominent on both occasions, barrier 9 for him.
I think the smaller Happy Valley track will really suit Lariz. He hasn't raced here before. He's by Smart Missile, and he led up to about the 200-metre mark. He's battled on nicely enough for 4th, and he didn't have the easiest of runs as well. He was really pushed to get to that lead. And look, even at 100 metres, he was still challenging for the lead, so I think he's a chance.
Yeah, I agree with you, Paul. I think coming to the Valley, it's a softer 1,200. He does look, he's a big, scopy type of horse, but he's just lacking a bit of strength. I think there's still a bit of blubber there as opposed to muscle. So give him a bit of time, he'll strengthen up, but I think the Valley's better for him.
All right, OK, that's...
I know about blubber, Andrew.
The Show is the next horse we'll have a look at. It comes in great form. He's won 2 of his last 3. One of those was in Class 5, but he was the last start winner in Class 4 too.
Yeah, and he's won a lot higher than graded than this as well in his heyday. He's an 8-year-old now, so he's getting on in age, but he's in great form. It was a good win.
Dennis, yep, take your bow. The Show and the Full Bloom, just going enormous, these lower graded gallopers.
Yep. All right, so he's one to be included as well. Interesting first starter, though, in One Step Ahead. Let's find out a bit more about him with trainer Paul O'Sullivan.
Paul, One Step Ahead, trialled in New Zealand prior to coming over here. Was it based off those trials that you decided to bring him up, or was he always bought with the intention of coming to Hong Kong?
No, he's bought out of the stable, so he trialled well enough to suggest that he would be suitable for Hong Kong.
Are you happy with what he's shown you in his 3 trials that he's had here?
Yeah, he showed a little bit more speed than I thought, given his pedigree, so which is always a good thing. But I think long term he'd be sort of a mile and a little bit further. But so far so good.
What sort of expectations do you head to Wednesday night with him then?
Well, he's got a reasonable draw. My record for forces first up in Hong Kong isn't great, but I think he'd run well, if he can get sort of one off the fence somewhere. And he handled the Valley track at the trials pretty well.
Weighs in at just over 1,000 pounds. Physically, what's he like?
Yeah, he's not a big horse, but I think the best of the Tavistocks have been the smaller ones. And, he's pretty typical Tavistock, but even though he's light, he's got enough strength about him.
And Paul, a nice win, Band of Brothers, good way to start the week.
Yeah, no, very good. He looked good, second time out, and for him to back up and do it again is promising. So his horse has got a bit of a future.
What about Pakistan Star? How's he heading into the big weekend?
Yeah, well, you know, let's hope he can back up his form from a couple of weeks ago. He's sort of down and weight a little bit, which I think is a positive thing, but he's done everything okay, and we'll just see which Pakistan Star turns up.
It's a great lineup for the QE2, actually.
Massive race.
Talking about one step ahead, but yeah, great lineup. He's defending his title there.
You're getting one step ahead of yourself.
Yeah, great to see him back in form too last start. He really put in a really solid effort.
One step ahead, though, Paul. The trial was all right.
It was okay.
2 of his 3 trials so far.
Yeah, not too bad at all. I've managed to sneak him into the numbers as well, one step ahead. But I'm going to go with Gift of Lifeline. He's the one on top here. I just think he's a really nice progressive horse. Lariz from the front, first start at Happy Valley. I think he can go a cheeky race, this horse. One step ahead, he's in there for third. And the show's in great form. 3, 7, 5, 6, like the 3, though.
Actually, Gift of Lifeline was not dissimilar to One Step Ahead when he first started trialling and racing. He just took a few runs to really build a little bit of race fitness and enough acceleration at the end of the contest to fly past the opposition and win. We saw that with him 2 starts ago. We saw it last start when third behind This Is Class as well. So I think he's got the edge on One Step Ahead for that reason. They both look like nice horses going forward, but Gift of Lifeline's now 5 starts under the belt, whereas One Step Ahead's on debut. Glittering Armour, this horse bled at his last start, but he defeated Honest, or he ran second to Honest Way, beaten a neck in 1:8.83 at Sha Tin back in November. He's got an engine, Glittering Armour, might be a little value runner. What is he, 8.3, so he's not completely out of the market. And Lariz, the Valley should be better for him. 3, 5, 12, 7 for me.
I got the same 4 numbers as Paul, but we all got the 3, 5 and 7 in there as well. It's a slightly different order than Paul's, but yeah, 3 on top for me as well. Gift of Lifeline looks hard to beat. Next up for us then, race number 6 is our feature race, the Korea Racing Authority Trophy.